So using ASP.NET technology, we can develop dynamic pages. So they can be .aspx. These are the file types we have there. .aspx, .aspx.cs. This is for the user interface. You create the pages, and for them you write code with the .aspx.cs if you are using C# language, or it can be .aspx.vb. Either VB we can use or CS we can use depending on the proficiency you have with the technology, depending on the proficiency you have in the language. In whatever you are comfortable, you can use that language. So it does not make any difference whether you write code in VB or whether you write code in C#. They are going to be working on par. That means same kind of performance you have with the .NET. Whether you use C# or whether you use VB.NET. Most of the people they choose CS. Reason, most of the professionals you find from the Java background or with the C++ background, because of that they use CS as their default language. But you find few others also, they have experience with VB and with the basic language, they use VB.NET. So even with VB.NET also, we develop applications with the ASP.NET. So ASCX is going to be user control. You can create your own control, something like a text box, then you can write code for it with the code behind. And ASMX is nothing but here it is a web service. We develop web services. ASHX is going to be handler. So handler is nothing but it does not have any user interface in the background, just it can be running. These are the different types of files we create, and apart from that we have here here this is web.config file. We have here web.config file. With the help of this we can configure the website. Similarly, we have here .html, then .css files, then here you have JS file. These are going to be different types of files we use with the ASP.NET. In the ASP.NET, we'll be using it. Okay, apart from this, sometimes you may manage even within your application some other files like .sdf. SDF stands for here single data file you have here. So SQL Server database files you can have .sdf, and you can keep part of the app data folder. And as we know, there are different types of folders with ASP.NET. The folders are here bin folder. We maintain binary files in this. Then similarly, app code folder, whatever classes you write, they can go into this. Normally, whatever code you write, it gets converted to binary format. And like DLLs, we are going to use, and DLLs normally we keep in the bin folder. But sometimes still, without converting them into DLLs, you may maintain code. That means you may have a pure CSS code. So that you have to keep in the app code folder. And similarly, we have here app data folder. This can contain data files. They can be XML or they can be some other kind of your proprietary format or in SQL Server data format. So those files you can be maintaining under app data folder. Then apart from that, you have a theme folder. Under themes folder, you can define different themes, and those themes you can be applying with the ASP.NET pages. Normally, if you look at the CSS that you can apply with the both ASP.NET server-side tags or server-side elements, and even for the HTML elements you can use. But as far as themes and other things like skins are concerned, you can use them only with the ASP.NET server controls. With server controls, you can be using the themes. A theme is nothing but style only, but exclusively you can define for the ASP.NET elements and you can apply them. Okay, so themes is another folder we are going to have in that. Then we have their web references folder. Whenever you are referring any web services, they can be part of the web references. So like this, you can be maintaining certain folder structure as far as ASP.NET website is concerned. Okay, so these are going to be ASP.NET based applications. We yesterday created the client side part. We created two pages. One is home, other one is default. One is home, other one is default. We created like this here. So we were just applying the styles there. We were applying styles. We have taken external style and we have taken internal style. We took internal style as well as external style. So internal style is what, as far as home.html is concerned, here we have internal styles. This is nothing but here internal style. We created internal style. The styles are based on the here. The first one is element based style. Then we have here, this one is also element based, and this is here ID based. We have here ID based style as well as we have element based style. One more thing is this one, class based style. All the class based styles start with the dot. And element based styles just to put the element name followed by style you define. And as far as ID based is concerned, we need to use hash followed by ID you have to put. So like this ID based styles you can have, class based style, and one more thing is element based style. Styles can be defined in three different ways. One is class based, then other one is ID based, and one more is element based. These are the three different types, different ways of defining styles for us. Okay, and these styles you can define within the HTML document, that is called as internal CSS. You can be defining in line with the element, so that is called as inline CSS. So we say it as inline CSS, just like this. Along with the body element, immediately we put a style. Here we can define the style, or else it can be in the external file, that is called as external CSS. Similarly, whenever you want to apply any class with a particular element, we use like this here. A ID equal to lnk login. This is what ID based. Automatically the style is getting applied for us. So like this we can be making the styles here. And one more thing you see here, what we do, input type equal to submit, class equal to input submit we put. What does it mean? It is actually using input submit class. If you come to this input submit, here you have a class for this. Dot input submit, background color is green, color is going to be white. So such color we are going to apply with this particular element here. When we come to this here, we are applying it. Input type equal to submit, class equal to input submit, ID equal to btn submit. We kept like this, then value equal to register. So this is what exactly is the class based style. We have class based style, therefore element based style, and one more thing is here ID based style we have defined. And the styles can be within the same document, or it can be in the external document, or it can be along with the tag itself. Along with the tag, along with the element name itself, we can be defining style, just like table here. Table style equal to margin left 300px, margin top 50px, border solid, like this you have taken. So this is called as inline style. You apply here inline style, like this the table style we set here. So this can be called as styling, or this is here CSS. Okay, so this is what exactly we use HTML elements and we can style them. Styling elements you can do with the help of these in different ways. The location where you keep style it can be inline, it can be internal, it can be external. And how do you define style? On what basis you are defining style? Is it based on a particular element, or is it based on a particular class, or is it based on particular element ID? So ID based, class based, and one more thing is here element based. Styles you can define that way. Now next thing is going to be using JavaScript. So let us talk about JavaScript. JavaScript is also very important. JavaScript basically we use in the client side. In the client side script, for the client side scripting we use JavaScript. JavaScript is basically it's a language which is very loosely typed language. JavaScript is a language which is actually very loosely typed language. It's not very strongly typed language. As far as JavaScript is concerned, you can declare a variable using var followed by variable name. We put like this, var variable 1. With the help of this you can define a variable. As far as JavaScript is concerned, to declare a variable we use this particular type of syntax, var followed by variable 1. This is syntax for defining a variable. We haven't assigned any type of data to this. So far there is no data associated with this. So this is called as declaring a variable without any type. And in the Java language, using var keyword you define variable and no type is associated with this. This is called as very loose typing. We are going to declare a variable without type. This is called as loosely typed language and loosely typed variable. What type of data we are assigning so far we don't know, but dynamically you can be adding type of data to this. You may write like this, variable 1 equal to, you can put something like this here, ABC. Like this you can put. Now what it's containing here, it's containing a value ABC in this. Or you can write variable 1 this equal to, but once you assign a data, you cannot change its type. So when you assign data at the time, the type will be inferred here. So whenever you assign data at the time, you are going to give a type to the variable. But once you assign data, you cannot add there. If you try to put now 100, it is in fact wrong. This is wrong. This is going to give error. This is wrong now, because already we have associated the variable with the string data. Since we associated string data with a variable, now you cannot put here integer data. So if you try to put like this, it gives error. You declare a variable, then assign some data with a variable. After that, if you try to change the type of data, it gives error. You can put variable 1 equal to ABC, variable 1 equal to 100 when you assign. That is going to be wrong, because already we have associated the variable 1 with a string called as ABC. When you try to assign 100, it does not take there. It's not going to be taking the 100 there. So reason variable 1 is called as here string data. It's going to be string data. It's a string variable. So once you assign some string data to that, you cannot change it. Variable 1 equal to, when you try to put 100, definitely it gives error, because it is going to be inferring a type whenever you assign a value first time. Here we are assigning a value first time, because of that now you cannot change it. Okay, so this is going to be basically JavaScript. As far as JavaScript is concerned, it supports this type of data, string data. Similarly, we have here numeric data, we have Boolean data. One more thing is going to be date data, and other one is object data we have in this. Objects also you can create, and here string data, numeric data, Boolean data, date data, objects data is available. You can create even arrays. Arrays also it supports. So these are going to be the different type of data as far as JavaScript is concerned. String data, numeric data, Boolean data, date data, object data, as well as arrays we find as far as JavaScript is concerned. String data can be declared like this. See here, where str1 equal to, it is going to be ABC. You can assign like ABS, you can assign, or you can assign even like this. str1 equal to, it can be in double quotes also, ABS. Either you can use double quotes or you can be using single quotes. That's up to you. So depending on the requirement, normally we use the double quotes as well as we use the single quotes. Either you can use single quotes or you can be using double quotes there. So where strs1 equal to ABS or where strs1 equal to ABS, either like this or like that, you can be using it. Similarly, we can take numeric data. In the case of numeric data, where n1 equal to, it may be 100 or it may be n1 equal to 100.99, you can put like this. So this is basically for numeric data. Either integer data or floating point data we can be assigning there. Similarly, write where bval equal to, either you put true or you can write here false. Bval equal to or false. Either a true value you can assign or a false value also you can be assigning in that. So where str1 equal to ABS or str1 equal to ABS, like that you can put. Where n1 equal to 100 or it can be n1 equal to 100.99, you can put. Where bval equal to true or bval equal to false. Similarly, we can use date here. Some data equal to, I can write here new date. Using a new keyword, I should be creating a date object. New date, we can write like this. This contains both date as well as time. This can be containing both date as well as time. Like this, a new date can be created. Now similarly, you can create a object. An object can be created like this. Put it here, object data. So in the case of object data, it can be put like this. Object data equal to, you can write this way. You can put here key, something like name, put like this. Here we put it this way, colon, then you can put here ASR. Then similarly, you can take like this, then put here age, then followed by put a colon, say 35 like this. This can be called as here an object. An object can be created. This is called as JavaScript object. You can say this as here JavaScript object. An object can be created this way for us. Using where keyword you must use every time. Where data equal to like this, you can write date data, we put like this. Similarly, where object data, you can write this way. So this is called as here JavaScript object notation based. You can assign two values, one is ASR, other one is here 35. You are associating the ASR with name and 35 with age. So age is one key, name is another key. Like this, you can create here the object data. And arrays can be declared like this, where ns equal to its nums here. Like this, you can put here 10, then 20, then 34, 56. Like this, arrays can be declared. You can declare arrays. And as far as string is concerned, you can find the length of the string with the help of the length property. Similarly, with the array is concerned, array length also you can find out with the help of the length. Like this, you can declare the data types as far as this JavaScript is concerned. So whatever the arithmetic operators are available with the C#, they are applicable even here in the JavaScript. Same operators you can use here. So arithmetic operators, relational operators, then similarly the logical operators, and one more thing is even bitwise operators, they are applicable, they are available just like C# code. And apart from that, it's going to be using condition statements like if condition you have here, then similarly if else also we can use as we use in the C#. Then we use here switch case also just like C#. In the C#, how we use switch case, here also we can be using switch case. Not required, Mahmood. In the case of numeric values, you should not put. Only whenever string data at the time you have to put. This one is what string data, you need to put the double quotes. But as far as age is concerned, it's numeric data, don't put that. Okay, this one is going to be here switch case. This is for multi-way branching. How we have done the C# in the same way, it can be done here. Then apart from this, you have here loops also. Then do while loop we have here. Then similarly while loop is available here. And one more thing is going to be for loop. Like if you have three loops, with the help of three loops, we can iterate things. Do while loop, and for loop we have here. In the loops we use it, if you recall, a continue statement. Similarly, we use it there a break statement sometimes. In the same manner, here you can be using continue as well as break, even within the JavaScript loops also. So JavaScript contains selection statements, if else or switch. Depending on the requirement you can use. In the same way, you have do while loop and for loop even in the JavaScript. Just like C#, how we use in the same way, they can be used. And we can use here continue statement as well as break. So continue, suppose you have some 10 lines of code. So after executing fifth line of code, for example, I am saying, you want to skip rest of the code and you want to again go to the beginning of loop. In such cases, you can use continue. But due to some reason, abruptly, if you want to end the loop, in such cases, you can use break. That means without coming to the end of the loop properly, without completing all iterations, if you want to exit, in such cases, you can use break. So how we use in the C# in the same way you can use, because it is belonging to C family of languages. Whatever you could do with C and C# here, even you can do with the JavaScript. But JavaScript is not object oriented. It is a different language. It's called as scripting language. On the fly, it gets interpreted. On the fly, it gets interpreted. And one more point, as far as client-side JavaScript is concerned, it is not actually a full-fledged programming language. We write small functions, in response to the events of the various elements on the HTML page, we are going to fire those functions or we are going to call those functions. Okay, in response to certain events associated with the HTML elements, we can be invoking these functions. We can invoke these functions. So these functions are going to be small code blocks, very, very small code blocks we write in response to events. In response to events generated by the HTML form elements, we can be calling them. We can call them. So like that, normally the JavaScript functions are going to be very small set of code, like functions we write them. It's not any full-fledged programming language as far as client-side JavaScript is concerned. Even you have server-side JavaScripting that can be working like a normal, server-side programming feature of the JavaScript you have that can be working like a full-fledged language. So there is one tool called as Node.js. With the help of Node.js, even you can develop server-side technology. The HTTP server you can make, just like IIS, just like actually the Tomcat. You can have a server. So with that server, you can be accessing web. That is possible with the Node.js. Node.js is basically a framework from the JavaScript. So with the help of that server-side coding, you can do with the JavaScript. There you can treat it as a full-fledged programming language. But as far as client side is concerned, you can have only minimum features. So normally you write small functions. Those functions in response to events generated with the HTML elements you associate. So with the help of these features, you can be writing JavaScript functions. They can be very small, in fact. And apart from this, here you have three different dialog boxes associated with the JavaScript. One is called as alert. With the help of alert, you can put message boxes. Alert like this you can put. Welcome. Like this you can get some type of message. This is going to display just OK on the screen. And one more thing is going to be here, confirm. We have here confirm. In the case of confirm, do you want to continue? Like this you can put a message. Do you want to continue? So here it displays yes, no. So based on that, if you click yes, it gives one value. If you click no, it gives another value. Like this we can be using their confirm dialog. You can be using their confirm. Then similarly we have here prompt. With the help of prompt, we can input data from keyboard. So enter your value. Like this, it can give a prompt dialog box. So these dialogs are automatically generated with the JavaScript. Enter your choice or your number, something like this. So it can be giving you a kind of prompt. These are called as dialog boxes, which as per the requirement you can use. Depending on the requirement, you can be choosing here dialog boxes. So JavaScript supports these things. So these are the basic features of JavaScript. Now let us try to explore JavaScript. So here what we created a button. What is in the button exactly? So here we have btn submit. We kept a submit button here. Here in the submit button, we are trying to put this kind of message here. Alert atag.client top, atag.client left. This is called as here alert dialog box. Instead of showing alert dialog box, let us try to check for the data in the controls. Okay, so this is what exactly home HTML. This is for the login. For what purpose we use it? Let me render once. View in browser. So we have like this. If you click on this login, it should come to login page for us. So login page is not available. This is basically meant for registering a user. You can enter here user ID, then first name, last name, date of birth, qualification. When you click on register, it should be sent to server. We have to send to server. When you send to server, who has to accept that? You have here code. When you click on the submit, it has to go to server. There should be some server agent who has to accept all this. You have to send to server. In the server, they have to accept it. Then they should be saving. So in the server side, some kind of agent is required for us. Okay, and to send data to server, we require actually form tag. Using form tag only, you can be submitting data. Here you put a form tag like this you need to take. Here this is going to be form, then followed by here method equal to, this one we use as post method. Once I was saying you to find out more information related to form, this is method equal to post, method equal to get, method equal to put, method equal to delete. You have different methods. Then followed by we require here action. When you submit this data, where it has to go, you must understand. I have to take some file here, posted data .aspx. I use like this. Here I am going to use server side component called as aspx page. Form method equal to post, action equal to posted data.aspx, or I can say registration.aspx. put like this, registration dot ASPX. Like this I can make it. Then here I want to close the form. I want to close here. Come down in this. After table tag, let me put this here. Now what happens? As soon as you click on this, come to design here, you have this kind of interface now. Suppose I render this to the browser. If I click on register, what happens? It tries to send data to server. Now it says here there is no registration page. When you click on that, it says no registration page. It's giving error there. When you click on the register, it is coming into this page, but there is no server side resource. What it says there, description HTTP 404, the resource you are looking for could have been removed, had its name changed, or is temporarily unavailable. Like this you are getting message. So you are unable to go to the concerned page there because the page is not defined so far. So this is called as submitting data to server. To send data to server, we require here this one. A form tag is required. Form method equal to post, action equal to registration.aspx, and with the help of this you create a form. In the form you can put HTML elements data, then you submit that to the server. To the server you can submit data here. So to submit data to server, first of all, whatever data you want to submit, you put in the form tag, and every element must be having a name there. Now I cannot send this to server. Even if I send to server, server does not know what data it is. Reason, I am not using any name tag here. ID is basically meant for client side, name is for server side. So I put here name equal to like this, txt user ID. Txt user ID I should put here, and this is going to be name equal to txt first name. Name equal to this is txt first name. This is what txt first name you can put, and this one is going to be txt last name here. This is name equal to txt last name. Okay, then this is going to be txt dob. Name equal to txt dob. This is here txt qualification. So like this we are going to make it, and this is what txt res result also we can be make span id txt res input type equal to button, class equal to input, submit we keep that, and there we are trying to keep it here. So whenever we try to submit data, without these you cannot submit. Name is required here. Without name, server side cannot accept that, cannot understand that particular thing. So ID is basically meant for client side, and names are going to be meant for server side. ID is for client side, names are meant for actually server side. So always you must put names there. Without names, you can't do anything there. You must put therefore name. Name is here txt user ID, txt first name, txt last name, txt dob. Then one more thing is here txt qualification. We send data like this to server. In the server, it should be accepted. In the server now, it should be accepted. See, but right now there is no server side page. We haven't created server side page, because of that it gives error. But before we submit data to server side, we need to check. If data is available, you should send to server. Otherwise, you should not send. So you create txt user ID, first name, last name, txt dob, and qualification you entered there. Okay, you created an interface like this, but while submitting data, you don't enter any data and try to submit. So what happens with that? See there, in browser, it's coming like this. Without data, if you try to enter, nothing can be done there. A user cannot be registered. So therefore, if you click on this here, it should not accept. So first of all, you should not be sending to server. Like that, you have to do the validation here. You must perform validation here in this. Mansoor, understood this here?
Yes, I got it.
Okay. Mahmood, any questions on this?
Thank you.
No, I got it.
So I created form without, without creating server side component. I'm trying to send to server. One more thing, without entering data into these user form fields, if you try to submit data to server, it should not be submitted there. It should not submit, it should reject. Now for that purpose, we write here JavaScript code. With the help of JavaScript code, we can achieve it here. Let us try to write here JavaScript code. Sandeep, are you following it?
Yeah.
First of all, you created form. So in the form only, whatever data you're trying to submit to server, you should put always in the form tag. If you try to put outside the scope of form tag, it will not be submitted. Always keep in the form tag only. Form method equal to, you should use there either post method or get method, then followed by where exactly you're trying to send. Action equal to whatever server side component is accepting this data, that component name you have to specify there, and component must be existing. Then in such cases, your data can be sent to server, otherwise it can't be sent. Here I am trying to send to registration.aspx, which is nothing but server side coding. So since the registration.aspx is not existing, it's going to give error for us like this. So first of all, let us validate in the client side this one. Let us do client side validation. So for that purpose, I use here JavaScript. I come to code, then in this code, trying to write the JavaScript function here. Okay, let us come to here, home.html. In the source, let me write here. I want to write a function in the script part. Okay, so here I have written some code. That code let me remove here. Then try to here write a function followed by validate form data. This is going to be the function trying to make here. Then here I declare a variable boolean, where b or val equal to false. I put b or val equal to false. I'm trying to define here. Then after that, I want to check for the elements. Each and every element I'm going to check in this. I can be checking all the elements there. So here try to look for each and every element in this. We can check for each and every element here. So txt user id, first name, last name, dob, qualification, we check all those things. Here write where object1 equal to, first what we do, I try to find out the element there. So this is document dot get element by id. Based on the id, I can be retrieving data. Get element by id. Then here I use the element name. Element name is what here? Very first element name is going to be for us txt user id. So this one is going to be txt user id. This is what exactly txt user id. Then here we write like this. If condition we take here object1, then dot value, we use here value equal to, if it is simply double quote like this, then in that case we try to write return false. We are going to returning a false in this. I'm using the if condition. Then similarly, next time also I use here object1, here again this is name of this first name. I think this is going to be first name, so try to put here txt first name. This is here txt first name. This is going to be first name. I'm trying to find out the value for the txt first name there. If this is empty, in such cases it should be returning a false value. So take like this, try to put this way here. Similarly, next element also we take this one is txt last name. This should be a last name we need to take here. So if it is empty, then again return a false value. So after the txt first name, last name, then here it is txt dob. If date of birth is not available, again it should be returning a false value for us. This is here txt dob, then return false value. Okay, after this, once again try to do txt qualification. We do with the qualification in this. This one is here txt qualification. If that is returning a empty value, it is going to be false, like this we do. Otherwise, it can be returning a true value for us. Return, then here write b or val. When none of them are returning any false value, by default it is going to be true value. Like this, we try to try to return a true value at the end. So this is basically for validating the document. For validating document, we use it. We are going to use like this for validating document there. So here at the end, we try to write okay. So here we write false only instead of returning anything. Okay, true only we keep here. This is fine. True we can keep here. So this is going to be true for us. We make like this. So this is going to be returning data for us. With the help of this, we are trying to validate here. We can validate this particular thing in this. Okay, then here in this, one more thing what I do, I can write here one more function. This is check input data. So inside this, I can write like this. If condition, I use if condition, what I have taken there, based on that, try to do this. If validate form data, if form data is getting validated properly, if it is returning a true value, so this is equal to, if it is true, then in such cases false, not true. If it is false, then put an alert box here. Alert, please enter all form data, all the details for registration. Then try to submit data. Like this, we can be setting it. So what we do, we enter all the data. Hello Mansoor, you are asking something to me? Okay. So this is going to be what exactly? Check input data. We are trying to make it. This we call here from the form. Let us come to form. In the form, let us try to call it. This one is value equal to register. Then here we write here in this on click. We can use here the event called as on click in this. We can write here on click event. So when user is clicking on this, we need to call that particular method there. So write the return followed by what we are going to return. That should be TURN. Return, that is, we are going to return here check input data. This must be, sorry, no, just we call check input data. We don't return anything. Check input data. We do like this. We are going to be doing this particular thing, or just write return here. I slightly modify that. Return, then check input data like this here. It's going to be returning the input data. This way we can do it. And come to the method here in the bottom. Slight modification is required in this. Bool, not bool, var or val equal to, it is here true we put. So after this we set this one as write or val equal to false. Then just return after this or val. Return or val. Like this we are going to be returning data this way. Check input data. So input data we are going to be checking now here in this. Okay. Now click on this register. What happens? See in this. It says, please enter all the details for registration, then try to submit data. This kind of message we are getting. Now it will not be sent to the server here in this. When you click on the register, it's saying like this, please enter all the details for registration, then try to submit data. It's giving this kind of message for us. So without filling form data, when you try to submit to server, it should give this kind of message for us. Now it's giving the required error message for us. So this we could do with the help of the JavaScript in the client side. Before you submit data to server, you need to check, because without filling form data, if you simply send data, simply submit form to server, there is no point in doing that. Reason, you don't have the data required for registration. So without filling the form totally here, if you send to server, server cannot do anything, and there is no point in sending such data. That's why I try to validate here with the help of the JavaScript functions here. I've written two functions as far as JavaScript is concerned here. One is what? Validate form data. One more thing is check input data. First of all, here I'm trying to get one by one element here. I'm trying to get one by one element here. So whenever I don't get any value for element, at the time I'm returning false value there. So I'm returning a false value there. So like this, we take the valid form data. Then this method I'm invoking in the check input data. In the check input data function, I'm calling it var or val equal to true. If validate form data, if it is returning false value, then it's going to put this kind of error message for us. Some kind of alert it's giving there. Please enter all the details for registration, then try to submit data. R val equal to false. It's going to be returning here a false value. Then at the end, what we write here? Return R val. We are going to write this as return R value. So it's going to be checking for the input data. So input data from where we call? From the button click we write that. In the btn submit value register, on click equal to return check input data. So this method is being called here. If it is returning true value without any problem, it will be sent to server. But when you don't have any true value from the check input data, in such cases, if it is returning false value, the form data will not be sent to server. Because if it is returning false value, forms cannot be sending data to server there. When this is returning a true value, in such cases, it can be submitting to server there. So if it is returning true value, form data goes to server, otherwise you are going to remain in the same page. So like this is going to be working for us. Now let us put some data into the form fields and try to send data. Okay, here I enter user ID, something like ASR 100, followed by first name. I put here ASR, then followed by this is A. I put like this. Date of birth I can put here, something like, I can put like this here, then something like you can put here. So this way you can be setting data, then click on the register here. So with this, what happens? Data will be sent to server here. Now this time you don't get any alert message. Reason, you have fulfilled all the data in this. But it's going to that particular page, registration.aspx, the page is not existing, that's why you get error. Now come back to this. Here remove one of the data from this. remove one of the data from this, then click on the register. What happens? See here in this. It says, please enter all the details for registration, then try to submit data. So like this, you are getting here message. When you don't enter all data, it's giving that message, but when you enter all the data and when you try to send to server, it's going to be accepting. But at the server side, you don't have the required component. So server side code is not available. Because of that, it is going to show some kind of error for us. 404 error you get, page not found message, you are going to get that. Because in the server side, there is no associated page. So because of that, it gives actually some kind of error message for us. So what is happening here? You're trying to fill the form data, they're trying to submit with the server, you're sending data to server. In the server, when you fill all these columns here and submit, it goes to server. Otherwise, it's going to give an error message here itself. Not error exactly, it can be some kind of warning for us. So please enter all the form data, then only submit. Like that, it's actually saying to us. With the help of alert, we are trying to do like that. Alert is one of the dialog boxes. With the help of that, we are doing it. Mahmood, any questions on this?
No, I'm following along.
So Mansoor, you have any questions?
No, I'm good. Thank you.
Now let us try to handle in the client server side. This is what exactly only the client side. We need to write now in the server side. When you submit data from this, it should go to server. So for that, what is required? A server side page is required for us. We need to have here a server side page. What is the server side page for us here? It is register.aspx or registration.aspx. Some page we need to create here. So if you look at the form method equal to post action equal to registration, so you need to create here a page called as registration. So try to create here a page called as registration here. Click on this, then try to create here a new page called as registration. So put like this here, registration.aspx. This is going to be the page we are creating. This is registration.aspx page we try to create in this. So when you create page, so like this you are getting the markup automatically created for you. So as far as ASPX pages are concerned, you have this kind of directive. This is called as page directive. First of all, the page directive, the directives in the ASP.NET start with a less than %@ symbol. A less than symbol, % symbol, @ symbol. With that, it can be getting started. So the directory is what here? Page directive. So that means it's an ASPX page. You can understand from that. It's a page directive. Language equal to what we have taken? C#. I'm going to use here C#. Auto event variable equal to true. You can have number of methods, number of events associated with the form. So you can be wiring up them automatically. That is called as auto event variable equal to true there. Then code file equal to registration.aspx.cs. So whatever code you write for this form, you find that with the registration.aspx.cs. So this way you can separate the code from the design. So this is nothing but design. Registration.aspx is user design or user interface. The code part we are going to separate from this with the help of the code file here. Registration.aspx.cs is going to be the file which contains code. So in that code file you write the required code. And inherits equal to what exactly? Registration. So this page is getting created from the registration page. So from the registration page it's getting created. If you open the code, you find like this here. Open the code for this CS file. So it's getting created like this. Public partial class registration system.web.ui.page. The registration page is getting created from the page class which is already defined for us. So page class is available. So using page class you are going to create here registration page. It is inheriting from the system.web.ui.page. System.web.ui is nothing but user interface. There a page class is predefined. So the page class is automatically getting inherited into registration page. So whatever basic features are required for web page, they are available with the system.web.ui.page. You are inheriting them into registration page here. In the registration page, they are going to be available for us here. Okay, so automatically these namespaces are also added for us. System, collection.generic, LINQ, web, UI, web controls. So these are getting added to our page here. So this is what exactly, it's a partial class. Partial class meaning is the class can be split among number of files, and for the number of in number of pages, in number of files also we can write code for it. When this particular file, class is very big, suppose it contains hundreds of methods, one person, if the person is not in a position to complete the code, in such case you may distribute the class among number of people. So partially it will be written by different people there. One person writes partially, other person writes partially, other person also will be writing partially. So that's why we use here a partial keyword. Public partial class registration system.web.ui.page. So partially code can be written for this, partially in some other file, partially in some other file, like that it can be required. If needed, it's not mandatory that you need to be splitting the class among the number of files, but if required, you can be splitting it. So with the help of partial keyword, you are marking the particular registration class as here a partial class. So it can be implemented in different files. In different files, it can be implemented or written code for them in different files. So this way we can use the partial keyword. With the help of partial keyword, you can achieve that. Now this is what exactly form load event. So this is nothing but here page load event. Whenever you take ASPX page, it has got certain life cycle. The life cycle you have for the ASPX page. First of all, it is pre-init, then init event, then after that load event, then after that it is going to be rendering. Then once it is rendered, render meaning is sending to the browser. So once that is sent to browser, the page has to be destroyed. Page has to be removed from memory. So that is basically a life cycle for the page. First thing is pre-init, then init we have, followed by page loading. Then once page is loaded, page will be rendered to the client, that means to the browser. Once page is sent to the client, once it is rendered with client, then no longer you require in the in the client's, in the server's memory the concerned page. Therefore, you can remove the page totally from the memory of the server. So that is called as actually destroying the page. So these are the steps we follow as far as ASP.NET page lifecycle is concerned. It follows certain page lifecycle. So first thing is pre-init, then init, then followed by loading, then rendering and destroying the given object. So like this, it follows certain life cycle. So whenever the page is getting loaded, you need to check for few things. Okay, you are sending data from the form. How this knows about the form? How we can understand about those variables? Because they are going to be HTML form data, but here this is what a CS file which is written with the ASPX. How it is going to be understanding those variables? How it can access those variables here? So for that purpose, we can use predefined objects called as request as well as response here. So ASP.NET Web Pages contains predefined objects like request, response, then server, application, session. So these are the different objects available for us. With the help of request object, we can be getting information related to the client request, and with the help of response, we can be writing data back to client. So both are request as well as response. These follow request response protocol, and they follow request response protocol. This is basically HTTP protocol. Whenever a form is submitted, some data is sent to server from client, there is going to be two different types of data. One is called as implicit data, other one is explicit data. So implicit data is going to be headers related to the HTTP. Along with the HTTP, some headers are sent. That means what is the version of HTTP? Okay, so how many bytes are being sent there? What's the encoding they are using? All that information can be sent. So what is the IP address of client? All such information can be coming with within the HTTP headers. So once it is received in the server, it is going to be handled with the request object. You have a request object as well as response objects. These are predefined. They are part of the page class. So once a page is created, automatically those objects are available for us. A request object, response object. Request is responsible for incoming request. Incoming request is nothing but sometimes what you do, you access something like www.gmail.com. When you put here, you are making a request. So who is going to handle that request here? Request object is going to be handling such request. With the help of request object, now you can identify what data is coming from the client. So here take request. We have here predefined request object. It's available for us. See, it's available. This is called as here HTTP request. This class, this object is here nothing but HTTP request here. A request object is available for us in this. So So here let us try to check for the data which is coming from the form. As far as request is concerned, so with the request you can receive data in three different ways. One is here, you take request, along with the request you can use here a form. It is going to be giving the form fields collection, then request dot files, whatever files you uploaded it can be giving you. Then similarly you have request dot query string. So sometimes you can submit data with the help of query string also. Query string also you can be submitting data. Whenever you use get method, it is going to be query string. So you have form data, you have files data, then one more thing is here, query strings. They are nothing but collection of data which is coming from the client. Whenever data is coming from client, you can collect information either by using a form or by using files or by using query string, or it can be combination of form files or it can be query string and files. So whenever the request is post method, you can use form there. Similarly, whenever it is actually get method, you can use the query string. With the help of that, you can get data which is coming from the client. So from client, whatever data is coming, we can get like that. Now let us try to find out what data is coming from the client in this. Okay, so here request, then dot, followed by here form we use. I can use here form. What it says exactly, system dot collections dot specialized dot name value collection, it says here. HTTP request, it is saying like this. It's nothing but name value collection we have in this. So form, once again if you look at this dot form, where you put what it says in this system dot collections dot specialized dot name value collection. So we have here name value collection. With the help of that we can be retrieving all the variables from the given form data there. So here do like this, put in this way, using system dot, then right here collections dot followed by specialized, we use in this dot. If you put, you don't get anything. Okay, so here write name value collection, we can use like this. Name value collection, right, object form fields, this equal to, we write it, this is going to be request dot, put like this here form. So with the help of form you can be retrieving here information. You can just get, you can't assign anything. Name value collections we are taking like this here. So next thing, this is here what key value pair you can use. You can be using here key value pair. With the help of key value pair also you can be getting data here. So use key value pair, followed by we put here string, then this one also is going to be here string, do we take like this. Then here we can define data kv pair. Kv pair we are going to be taking like this here. String and string, it's going to be like this. We are going to make in this manner. This is called as here key value pair. First one is a key, second thing is going to be value. Like this we get here. So kv pair, the dot, when you put here you can get key as well as you can get the value there. So we created here key value pair, string string. This is name value collection. When you look at name value collection, it contains data in the form of what exactly? It contains data in the form of here keys. Name value collection is going to be containing in the form of the keys there. So name value collection, this can be containing data like here key value pairs. So here write therefore, try to retrieve like this, for int index equal to 0, then index less than, what we write here, object form fields dot followed by here count. We can use here how many elements are there, count we use, then followed by this is index plus plus. We take like this, then here we retrieve the values which are available for us here. Whatever are available we take there. So this is here kv pair equal to We retrieve like this: name value collection of you cannot do like this, I think. Like a variable we used. Okay. Sorry, this is dot this one. We can get here now name value connection is going to be giving only string for us. Okay. You try to write. You try to put like this. Response dot write here. We can be retrieving data. Response dot write followed by in this obj form fields of index, then dot okay. So this cannot be much useful to us. Therefore, what I do in this, I use for int n is 0 and less than, write like this. This is request dot form dot, this is count here, then this is n plus plus, like this I use here. Then response dot write, this one is request dot form of n dot, this is here. Not getting anything, so just try to retrieve keys only. Request dot form dot keys. Okay, we get here keys collection. Take keys only, keys collection. Key value pair, if we take, comes like this. Key value pair cannot be taken. Key value if I take structure, this is fine. Form dot enumerator I use. It's giving keys collection. Okay, toString we take keys can be retrieved here. Key value where we cannot use. Okay. Key value where if we use, not going to be like that. Items cannot be used. This post back we don't use. Okay. Form completed here. Request dot form dot this is name value collection index. Key can be null. Okay. So request dot all keys. Let us declare array. This is fine. String. Write this. Key is equal to request dot all keys we take like this. So it can be returning a string value for us. Here write for each st string str in keys take like this. Then response dot write so we should put here str then plus its value is put plus here then followed by try to print the value in this. Key is equal to request dot form dot all keys for each string str in keys. Now we should be finding out here the key value. So this is request dot form then dot you can get here. So we can retrieve here based on the key value. Key value we can get put here str then dot to string we put here. Try to submit data like this. So plus we need to put here dr tag because we are going to close this tag. Like this we can be displaying data. So then similarly right here after this response dot write again response dot write we put here followed by in this we put here a href equal to once again the page is here home.html. You can put like this home.html then this is here it is home page put like this then followed by /a. This way we are setting it. So from form data is coming into this particular page. So in this page it's going to be displaying here the string response dot write str its value is request.form.str.toString. Whatever value we submit there is going to be coming. Then after that, at the end of this loop, it is going to be putting a link. With the help of that, again you can come back to home.html. So come to this home.html. From here, try to render this now. We enter some data, AS100, followed by this is A, and sort we put like this, 10/5, 1993 we put. After that we put some qualification like MS, then click on register here. It's giving values like this. You can see txt user ID, its value is AS100, txt first name, its value is A, txt last name, its value is SR, txt DOB, its value is 10/5/1993, txt qualification, its value is MS, and when you click on home page, again you can be coming back to the previous page. You can come to like this. So this way you are submitting data from a form to the server. In the server side, it is finding out this information and displaying like this here. So server side content is what here? Registration.aspx. Registration.aspx, with the help of that, we are trying to track all this. Whatever data is coming from server, we are going to take here. Let me put here, for one of the things actually I remove. I remove for one of the things the name. In that case, what happens? See, txt dob we have here for qualification. I remove the name. I'll remove the name for the qualification. Just try to submit data without this. Control X. So this time qualification will not be printed for us because server does not know anything about the qualification in such cases. Like this we put here 10/5/1973 we put, then qualification we put something like some qualification, we put click on register. So here this time page is cleared or not. Server, I think it's not down. Since server is not down, nothing is happening. Did I save this first of all? Save this ID txt qualification we have taken. Okay. After that, again the problem with the catching also. It's going to be catching sometimes due to that previous page itself is going to be coming for us. So therefore, try to render again. So this time name should not be available for us. Reason, we are sending only ID, we are not sending name. Name should not be available. With name only you can be identifying that particular thing. We in browser, enter data. No validation we have done, so it accepts any kind of data. Like this, click on register. It should not take actually, so it's not getting cleared. The caching is not getting cleared. We need to clear the cache, then in such case it comes properly. So come to this part, then let me clear the cache once. Go to settings. In the settings, show advanced settings, this one, clear browsing data. Okay. Let us take this application and whether it's running anywhere. ASP.NET server, let us see. Then mouse. Server is running, there can be problem with that. So view in browser here. Let us submit again data. This time raw data is coming up for us. Now this time you cannot see it. You are not getting data this time. TXT user ID, TXT first name, TXT last name, TXT DOB. You get like this. So qualification is not coming here. Prior to this, it was catching. So whenever you visit a website, it is going to catch your site. That the same content is going to be getting rendered because of catching feature. Since there is no catching now, since I cleared it, this time it's not displaying the required qualification for us. It's not displaying required qualification. So like this, we have sent here limited data, user ID, first name, last name, and date of birth. That data is getting rendered here for us. Only that particular data is getting rendered here. Other data is not taken into account here. So like this, we created actually the HTML page. From HTML page, we are trying to submit data to server. In the server, it's getting processed. Okay, so from here, you may be putting into database or you may be putting into XML file. You can do whatever kind of business logic you want to do. You can do on that. But we could send successfully from client to server here the data. So with the help of the HTML form, we could send data to server. So in the server side, the page name is what here, registration.aspx. Like this we have done. Any questions on this, Mansoor?
Yes. So why you not get this in get form and take into the variables, and then we go to send these variables to the database?
See, here it's available for us. Already the data is available for us here. When you come to the server side, why we cannot use get? Reason, whenever you use get, you are going to see them on the address bar. Whatever value you are sending, you are going to see in the address bar. If it is containing sensitive data like passwords or credit card number, others also can see. So that's why we don't use get. With the help of page, whenever you submit data with the help of post method, such data cannot be seen, and unlimited data you can send. So I'm not using here get method, I'm using a post method. With that we are doing. And here one by one value we retrieve here. All the keys from the form are retrieved. One by one I am rendering here. So this can be sent even to database. Whatever data you have here, you can be getting hooked up to database. There you can submit data.
So if it's a long string, like there's a 40 or 50 fields, text fields.
Yes.
So how we can manage that? Then it's because you take everything in the array,
Yes.
and then for each you try to retrieve that from the text fields, and
Yes.
then you display over there. So
Yes.
if the fields are like 30 or 40,
Yes.
then how can we manage that?
With the help of this only, array only you can manage easily that one. So with the help of array, comfortably you can manage it. But see, the data should be different data in that case. All may not be strings. So appropriately you should be converting them into appropriate type of data there. You have to convert even data. One may be number, one may be date, one may be some boolean value, different type of data probably you have there. So even appropriate conversion is required. With the help of array only, comfortably you can manage that. Instead of writing for one by one, if you write, it takes lengthy code. With array only, comfortably you can manage. You can put small functions here also. Convert, say, string to number, convert string to date. Like the small functions you can write, you can be calling them either by using switch case or by using other mechanism. You can be doing that particular thing here.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
So depending on the key value, because you know in the from client side what is coming, you know here, because this is for developers. Developers know what type of data they are expecting from clients. You understand. Accordingly, it can be written. Okay, so today, previous assignment what I have given you, just try to do that because it is very much required. Without that, working with web applications can be difficult. From today, even some sort of material I sent now related to this each and every object. What is request object? What is response object? What is server object? Each and everything I am going to send. You need to go through that. Then similarly, what is session object? How you have to manage them here? Request, how it is working? Detailed information I am going to send on that. You need to spare some 2 to 3 hours every day now. So you need to spare like that. And what is exactly this ASP.NET page model? What is exactly life cycle? All that information I am going to send. So just go through that, read those things, please. So by your morning time, you'll be getting all those. And you can attend today at 7:30 6 a.m. of your time. If you are from EST, 6 a.m. of your time, you can attend today that MSBI session.
Is it, which one is it? Is it still SSIS or?
SSIS.
Okay.
So it
So
is
which time?
same 6 a.m. EST.
From our side.
Okay, yeah, I got it. Yeah.